tell you what I believe. Did somebody say that a love like that won't last? Didn't I give you all that I got to give you, baby? I gave you all the love I got. I gave you more than I could give. Gave you love. I gave you all that I have inside, and you took my love. You took my love. Yeah. And I keep crying, baby. And I keep trying for you. There's nothing like you and I, baby. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. I keep crying for you. I keep trying for you. I keep lying for you, baby. Girl, you got me falling. I keep falling for you, baby. Hey, this is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. Ooh. Oh, tell me if you want me to. Hey, tell me what you gonna do. Got me falling, falling for you, baby. Oh, ain't no ordinary love. I want you, babe. I want you, babe. Ordinary love. Hey, ordinary love. Got me falling. Ain't no ordinary love. Falling for you, baby. Oh, no ordinary love.
Going on?
What's happening, Marty? How are you?
Right now, I'm with the R&B superstar, Mr. Miguel. Marsha Ambrosius, I hope I got your last name right.
You did, and it was wonderful. Thank you.
He's finally here. I'm chilling with Lloyd. What's going on,
Hey,
man?
what's up, man? How you doing?
It's the OG of the group, T-Lo. What's good? It's your man, Sweet. And what's good? It's your boy, Rail. And we're next.
We got one of the biggest producers in the world. You guys don't know. What's up, Sean Garrett?
What up? What's up?
What's up, y'all? This is Case. This is my man Marty. This is Raleigh Boy. And we chilling right here on the Marty A. Johnson Show.
What's up? Marty A. Johnson here. It is Tuesday, Marty A. Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy. Today is Tuesday, so what's up to the people all over the universe? We have a lot to do and talk about and so little time. I'm just going to say that already. So my special guest is already here. He's in the wings waiting and everything. So I'm going to let Mr. Ortiz in about 3 minutes. If you care about the show, share it 1 or 2 times for me. Tell your friends, your aunties, your grandmas, your nephews, your nieces. This is going to be a really good show. And if you're an artist, you might want to tap in. Marty A. Johnson, #4 at gmail.com. That's if you got some really good music, not something you want to test out. This is the platform that we really try to elevate the artists really help take him to the next level. But tonight is all about the special guest. He definitely is we'll talk about that in the intro. He's an OG. He's been doing this thing for several years. We want to celebrate him right here. So sit tight. I'm going to play a video in a minute, and Mr. Ortiz is next.
I ain't heard from you in a minute. What's up? What you got going on tonight? Matter of fact, doesn't even matter. Look, I'm gonna come through and swoop you a little later, so I need you to be ready, fly. You know how you do, don't you? Know what I'm not trying to gas you, but you know how you do. And I'll be there in a minute.
Let's ride. Baby, I scoop you out. Throwing your latest fit. Tonight, girl, we going up. Stepping out. All the tension on us. Overflowing our cups. You're bumping, I sex you up. Let's ride. Baby, I scoop you out. Throwing your latest fit. Tonight, girl, we going up.
I go by the name of Madison J.
All the tension on us.
Yeah.
It froze, so I don't know what's going on with that. So I'm going to play a video, then I'm going to let Mr. Ortiz in. When it's a live show, you got to, keep it pushing. But we can have a word from our guys, 112. I'm going to get another video real quick. Attention all artists. We're trying to take artists to the finish line. We got our good friends. Who we rocking with? Mike. If they want to tap in on the show, what they need to do, please tell them.
MartyAJohnson4@gmail.com.
Now, Slim. What type of music are we looking for?
I'm telling you, it gotta be hot. You know what I'm saying? You gotta jump off the porch. Because if it's hot, look. If it's not,
it happens all the time. Don't look. They're doing it 14 times now. So look, I might need to try to open up for 112, but tell them it's a business at the end of the day.
it's all a business, man. What we gotta hear? You make the music, man. You're gonna miss zero. You like, wait, what is it? You make 0% of the shots you don't make, man. So, get with them. Get with these boys, man. Get with them. You might be able to get one to it. MartyAJohnson4@gmail.com.
That's it. Cindy is next.
Wish I could say that I knew better. Shouldn't have been banking on forever, no. Cut me deep, but I swear, ooh, it's only gonna make me better. Someday, better yet right now. Don't know how, but I always figure it out. When my heart and my mind don't align, just takes a little time, but baby, I'll be fine. No, it will get better. I done been here before and it gets better. So I know that it won't last forever. You'll see that the pain won't last. It gets better. Yeah, it gets better. Oh, and you see heartbreak won't last always. It will get better. Ain't complaining, that's how love goes. Is it really worth it? No one knows. But I can't say that I'm done with love. I just had to fall back and prepare where my heart at. Someday, better yet right now. Don't know how, but I always figure it out. When my heart and my mind don't align, just takes a little time. Baby, I'll be fine. No, it will get better. I done been here before. When it gets better. So I know that it won't last forever. You'll see that the pain won't last. It gets
That was excellent. Her name is Coraline Crusoe, and she'll be on the show this summer. In the meantime, we're going to have a good old time tonight. Kenny, if you can see and hear me, throw up the peace sign, please. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marty A. Johnson Show. We're the Fish Fly Boy. Right now, I'm playing the classic by SWV. Right here, remix. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce us to the gentleman who is responsible for Urban Girl. And maybe more. 30 years in the business. Never been doing this thing really, really strong. And we're going to celebrate him right here on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Mr. Kenny Ortiz. Kenny, what's up?
Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making. There's gonna be some rain, gonna be some pain, but as far as I know, boy, time will show, our love will grow, and I know love will be right here, be right here, right here, be right here.
Shout out to Lily and Taj, who are friends of the show, and Coco. You girls can come back anytime you like. But right now, we want to give an introduction to this gentleman here. He is an award-winning record executive, CEO, manager, talent developer, and he's one of the person responsible for one of the biggest girl groups of all times. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, SWV. And let me not forget about Jazmine Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
The Neptunes, and we can Wu-Tang Clan, responsible for some of their hits. Joe, and also he transcends all music genres. He's no stranger to house music, EDM, electric dance music, hip hop, R&B. This is what it really is all about. So y'all really need to give it up for this gentleman here, still relevant to the cause. And most importantly, he's here on the Marty A. Johnson Show with Official Rob Boy. We got Mr. Kenny Ortiz. Brother, I am so glad to have you here. I really appreciate it. I really, truly do. Thank you. Bird, I want to say thank you for being here. I really do.
Absolutely, man. Oh, I'm feeling good, man. Really good. I appreciate you inviting me here. I'm happy to be here. Absolutely.
Kenny, we have a lot to talk about in so little time. Even though people don't know, we talked first. Let's dial back a little bit.
Okay.
Let me tell a little bit of the backstory, how we got acquainted. We had one of the girls from SWV, shout out to Lily. Kenny reached out to me and said, why got one of the girls on here and I'm not on here with them? I said, no, sir. We're not going to do that. I'd rather you come on yourself so we can give you your flowers because we love SWV here, but you have a full career and a history with so many other artists that we have to really just give you your own time, if that makes sense.
I appreciate it for sure.
Okay. Pleasantly aside, I know you did some research on our platform on us. When I reached back out to you, what made you want to say yes to come on?
Well, yeah, of course, Lily was one of the first, and you had a few other, guests that were friends of mine. And I saw the way you handled the interviews, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I see you were just getting your platform started, and I just wanted to be a part of it, man. It didn't really matter how big or how small your audiences was. I just wanted to, appreciate what you were doing, and I wanted to tell my story. A lot of people, I'm pretty quiet. I'm not loud like the Puffies and the LA Reeves in the world. I'm pretty much a behind the scenes person, and a lot of people don't know the whole story behind the scenes. So if I can share some of that experience, this was the right place to do it.
Absolutely. And here, I want you to be able to talk. This is a free, no judgment zone, because a lot of people get misconstrued about the music. It's the music business. It really is.
Yes.
But that's the whole, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. First off, let me dial back a little bit, even though I know a little bit about the story when I did my research. Take me all the way back to New York City. That really want to make you say, let me really just dive into this as a career. Let me start with that first.
Well, you know, it's kind of weird. It really started with my mom playing music. My mom is was Cuban, Latin, and every weekend cleaning the house, she played. We had a thing called a high five, and you stack like about 10 records on a high five, and it would come down. And part of that was Sam Cooke and a lot of the Latin music that she was doing. So I got in, you know, it was back in the Motown days, Latin music, and that really got me the bug of just loving music. And then when I grew up and started going to clubs, you know, I love going to clubs. And then all of a sudden I found myself in the music business getting paid to go to clubs. And in going
more
to
as
the
a
clubs,
producer, or when you're going there more as a producer?
as a regular diehard person who just loved to party. But when I went to clubs, not only was I studying the music, but I was looking at how people danced and how they reacted to the music. And it wasn't so much how many people were on the dance floor, but what they were doing and how they were reacting to the music that was being played. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to be a singer. At least I thought I was at one point. I was right there with Michael Jackson. Trust me, I was right there when he was a kid. But once I realized after puberty I couldn't really sing, I wanted to find artists. So I grew up in the projects, and I used to put my speakers out outside of the window and blast them. And I wanted everybody to know that I had the new song, the new record. I wanted the whole city, my whole neighborhood to know that. And that's how I was sort of like a low-key DJ. Then I started going to the clubs, and I started studying the music, the intro, the bridges, how it ended from beginning to end. And that got me the bug. And there's one particular club in New York called the Paradise Garage, and the DJ was really, really good. And most DJs basically are good for transitioning music from one to another. One particular DJ named Larry Levan, he took you through each journey of the record from the very beginning of the song until the very end of the song, and you danced and you were emotionally tied to every part of the song. And that gave me the bug to how to make music, that one particular club. And from there, that's how it started. Me going to clubs, learning how to play music. Now I said, you know something? I gotta find artists that can do this. I can hear this and I can make music. So that got me the bug in New York to do those kind of things. And I had two different type of clubs: the bougie R&B black club where you had to get dressed up to a certain degree, and then there was a Paradise Garage where you can just be free and dance and nobody cared what you look like. And both of those particular type of clubs got me the bug to want to make music.
Got it.
You know?
Got it. I like that. And it's kind of like being a scout unrecognized without the label, so to speak. That's really what it was, what you was doing.
Right. Yes, yes.
And New York City, I'm actually from Connecticut, the tri-state, New York, Jersey, and Connecticut. The energy is different. You know what I mean? Our energy is pretty much straightforward. You really got to come with it. We really don't have a lot of time to coddle artists. You have to have something for us to really bring. We can't pretty much piece something together. You got to give us something to work with. And I like, what do you look for, particularly, let's say, when an artist comes up to you, they come up to you, you went up to them. Like, what do you look for? Anybody can dance. Anyone can say they got that it factor. What do you pretty much look for and say, okay, this is that. Oh, they got it.
Personality and swag had a lot to do with it. And I didn't really look for so much for experience, because that doesn't really matter. I just felt like I had an ear for a particular sound. So anybody that sounded different was great. So for example, if an artist came to me and sounded like Whitney Houston and they was doing a Whitney Houston song, for example, it's important that they are able to reach those notes and great, but I always listen to tone. The tone was really, and I don't know how to explain that. The tone was, once they had the right tone that was different from anybody else, if I can identify with that, I said, okay, great. I love your tone. Your songs may be okay. Yeah, you did cover songs, but how can I take this song and apply it to different genres of music? And of course, styling, their swag, that's all part of it too, as far as being new. I'm not interested in having another Whitney Houston or another Usher or whatever it is. What can you bring to the table that's new? And my experience as a young listening to music brought a lot of attention to that. So that's one of the things.
Understood. So when do you think that you got your big break? Like after doing all that and says, oh, this is my big break. Now, okay, now I'm officially in the industry. Now, basically, when did you get your first check that made you say, I'm solidified?
Right. I think, well, I was a promotion person first before I became a talent scout. So dancing, so I basically got paid to go to the clubs, but also I started off doing college radio. Okay, so my first check was at So my first check was really at a major label was Elektra Records, and I had Anita Baker, Tracy Chapman, a lot of college bands, Keith Sweat. But what I appreciated about that label in particular, if we sold, because we were college alternative radio type of label. So if we sold like 25,000 records the whole year, we got so excited. That was like, oh my, 25,000! We got so excited, and I never realized that. But they were interested, and they were interested in building careers. So even though we only sold 25,000 records, it was like that was a great start. And then the next album, it were millions. They knew how to do that. So people don't have patience right now. If it doesn't sell 100,000 records in 1 week, whatever, that's like it's done. Back then, it was a slow build, and that was my first check doing that. That was my main thing. But it was Anita Baker, Keith Sweat, Howard Hewitt, and a few others in that genre. Yes,
that's the good old. From what I hear, that was the really good old days in music when people actually bought records. It was about the music and all that stuff.
Yes.
Do you, before I get into some of the current stuff, do you miss that time?
Do I miss it? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Do you miss that era?
Oh, absolutely. People don't have the respect of buying any records. I literally, as a kid, I had to make a decision between buying a Jackson 5 record or a Marvin Gaye record or buying a pair of Converse sneakers. That really was that choice. And I can just tell you, I had holes in the bottom of my sneakers because it was usually the records, won. And I used to walk around with holes in my sneakers. My socks was hanging out the hole. It was horrible. But buying records and buying music was more important than buying sneakers at that time.
Nice.
So yeah, I missed that.
You work with a lot of legends. Even before, it seemed like you did a lot of groundwork right off the back. So I would think the doors are just pretty much getting knocked down for you. How was it really working with Anita? Respectfully, she's the elder. So Anita, I'm sorry, but I gotta call the way I from what I heard she's difficult, hard to work with, and stuff like that. Kenny, we're friends now. We talk for hours and hours behind the scenes. I didn't actually. Is she difficult to work with?
Well, I'm just glad that I was on her side. You know what I mean? No matter what. So that was the main thing. And before she really hit big, she was around for a while. She was in a couple of groups. I think it was Chapter 6 or Chapter 8. So she was in a group. So she's been around for a while, and she was very, very soulful. But yes, I've been on tour with her a few times, and I can tell you, and I thought it was part of her skit. She would really go on stage and basically fire her staff. They didn't hit a right note, or or didn't do something right on stage. She literally shut down the stage, cursed them out, and they were not on the next show. So from that perspective, she was tough. She was
wow.
Yeah, she did that. And in the studio, she was tough, but she demanded perfection, and she got it. As a promotion person, I was like, hey, I'm rolling with her. She was just there was nothing like Anita Baker. She was incredible. That was a time where I literally could play that Sweet Love album from beginning to end. There was no fillers. It was like, and you very rarely see or hear that from an R&B artist where you can really play the whole album, the whole project. So yeah, she was difficult, but it's Anita. What can you do? She was a diva, but she was wonderful.
Speaking of divas, there was also some divos I heard too. I heard about that too. The diva. I'm talking about the gentleman, Keith Sweat.
Yes. Keith Sweat was really good. He was the beginning of New Jack, pretty much. And again, very good.
Make It Last Forever, right around that time, right around there, correct?
Did I get one more time?
He was right there around that Make It Last Forever era. Am I correct?
Oh yes, Make It Last Forever was incredible. And at that time, it's kind of crazy because when he came out, well, there was a record before that called Just Got Paid by a guy named Johnny Kemp. That was like the true New Jack Swing record. It was huge. That was supposed to be his record, believe it or not.
Rest in
peace. Produced by Teddy Riley. And Teddy Riley was the hot producer at the time, and he invented New Jack Swing, but actually with rappers first. People don't know that. But New Jack Swing started with Johnny Kemp, then rappers like Big Daddy Kane and a few others. And then Keith Sweat came in the late 80s, and he just killed it. He melted together. And at one point, there was an argument who really did the record. Was it Teddy or was it Keith? So that was that big thing. Of course, it was definitely Teddy. It was both of them, but Teddy really took the hand. But that was That was really what put me on the map. That particular record, I Wanna in particular. It was actually, we had another single, Something Just Ain't Right was the original single, but I fought hard to get I Wanna, and we won, and the rest is history. But that was
the A&R for that album. He said you was part of that.
Okay, so of that particular project, a guy named Scott Folks, he actually signed it, but then he moved on, was let go, and then I had to make the decisions on the records. So I made a decision on what records came out.
Got it.
Because I was a promotion person, and people were listening to me because I had my ears to the street, to the clubs, to the radio stations and stuff like that. So I pretty much guided, the release records on that particular project.
You was that guy. He's still that guy. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Much
still, that record is still a classic right now to this day.
Well, absolutely. That's one of the few records that you can play from beginning to end. Only eight or nine cuts on the album. You can still play that. Shout out to him.
And shout out to Jackie McGee too. She was the female on the Make It Last Forever. Really, really good project. Yes. Yep.
Shout out to her. I don't know if you know, she's a friend of this show. She definitely is.
Oh yes.
Shout out to Miss McGee. SWV.
Yes.
How did you meet the girls?
Well, I was at a radio convention in Atlantic City, and a colleague of mine, Maureen Singleton, who was their manager, was really, really busy. And she said, "Hey, Kenny, I got this group." And I said, yeah, like everybody, no problem. Yeah. And then the next week, I get a bottle of champagne and a tape. Usually when you get champagne and things like that, it just never comes out there, and people are just trying to overdo it a whole bit. So I didn't think about it. But I put that tape in there, and I think the first song that I heard was It's About Time. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh, wow, this is what I've been looking for. So I always wanted to put, I love Charlie Wilson, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, of course, but Teddy Riley at that time was doing the New Jack Swing, and he had the group Guy. And I'm like, wow, Aaron Hall and Guy, that was a great sound. I really wish that I had an artist that was a female version of them. So Teddy Riley inspired me to find a female group that was doing what Guy was doing. And so when I heard SWV, it fit that mode. I'm like, that's it. That was great. Even though It's About Time wasn't necessarily my first single, I knew that was the title of the album once I heard that, because that's what I wanted. It was about time that we got a group that felt like that. You know what I mean? So that was great. And then I was lucky enough to find producers and writers that were on the project. Brian Morgan, which is incredible. Jannard Parker helped out. Gina Gomez was a dope writer of mine. There was a few outright that really helped me shape the sound that I wanted. But Teddy Riley definitely set the blueprint. And then I was lucky enough to find a producer and writer that Brian Morgan. He did exactly what I wanted. It was easy because the way he sung, that was it. He gave me the roadmap to getting them to sound the way they did. And I signed them as TLC, by the way, for Marilyn and Coco.
Yep.
That's what the original is. So I signed them at that, and then we found out that we couldn't use it because the real TLC, whatever it is, they had their name, so we had to change our name. And I wasn't really crazy about Sisters with the Voices at first because I really never heard them sing live, like in concert. So I was like, am I putting myself out there? You know what I mean? And giving them that name. But I said, you know something? They sound good on record. I'll take my chances. And we stuck with SWV, and that's what worked. Yes.
Nice. I like, again, shout out to them. Did you even though at that time there was some, let me talk a little bit about them. At that time there was so many other girl groups.
Yes.
They fit this mold. What do you feel? They gave that roundaway look, and
yes,
it wasn't polished up like In Vogue. There wasn't really tomboyish like TLC.
True. Yeah. True. Well, that was the beauty of it. Like we had our New York swag. They were from the Bronx and Brooklyn and New York, and that was part of it. You know what I mean? Yep. And Coco, and I almost made a mistake. Coco had like these long nails, and I thought, like, at first I didn't get it, like long nails. And I'm glad that she wouldn't have changed it anyway, but I'm glad that she didn't change that because that was part of her vibe. You know what I mean? But just coming from New York, and ironically, Brian Morgan was originally from Kansas, then he moved out to Sacramento, and he wasn't from New York, but he had a gospel vibe and he had the swag himself, but it all worked out. But New York I was so proud because I'm from New York, literally from New York City, and they were from New York City, so it just worked in hand that we had the flag, you know what I mean? And Janard Parker was from the Bronx. There was a few producers that were from the city too, and mixers and a whole bit. So, and then we were competing. Don't forget, in the beginning, I thought I was doing R&B hip hop, but then Uptown came with Mary J. Blige, and right as I was finishing my record, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that is R&B hip hop. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's R&B. So Mary J. Blige and Uptown Records helped me step up my game with SWV. So, and I was damn near finished my budget. So I kind of made up with it within our remixes and stuff like that. But New York had a big part in making them different than some of those other groups. You know what I mean? That were from LA and from other parts. We had to come and make our mark.
Two more questions about them, because like I said, I got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Right Here, the remix from Michael Jackson. Yes. Rumor has it that he pretty much gave you the record for free, the sample clearance from the Free Willy soundtrack. True or false?
Somewhat true, if you want to compare what free means. And I don't know if I have enough time to tell you the whole story, but I will tell you that was a big fight in general. First of all, I've always loved the record, and I tried to use that sample with prior artists before. I tried to make it work, but for whatever reason, it didn't work. Yeah. And in this record, it did work. So, and everybody was against it. The girls were against it. The label was against it, because not so much. First of all, they didn't really believe that the record could work. But more importantly, the idea for the record came even before the record was even the album was even released, even before the first singles. But for some reason, it finally came together after Week was done. So I couldn't explain to the label or artists, why am I doing a remix after releasing 2 or 3 singles? I couldn't explain that. And I'm saying, something, I don't care what you think. You can call it Right Here. You can call it whatever it is. Call it what you want. And so the God and the world was all aligned with me, because even the reason why it ended up on Free Willy, which was the first Michael Jackson project on his label. And once RCA rejected the record, I went to them and said, hey, I don't know what you want to do, but I got to release this record. The record was going to come out whether I leaked it or whatever. Somehow it was going to come out. So I made a deal with Michael Jackson and his label, and to put it on Free Willy. And by putting it on his album, that gave us the right to use the record for practically free. You know what I mean? That really made it work. It wasn't designed to do that at first, but it was just God making his way to making that record happen. And then there's more to it than that. And then, of course, Pharrell was part of that too in the world, because he did a rap to it. I kept one little part, the SWV, and that worked out too. But it was
the beginning.
When I finally got it cleared, I jumped so high it wasn't even funny. It was great. It was fantastic.
Okay. It's still the Marty A. Johnson. So the question I've been wanting to know, when people sell all these records like that, I heard other groups from that era. I never heard really the girls say that. Was everyone really making money, dollars, really off touring and off albums? Was it really there as far as the industry? Were they really making money as new artists right off the gate?
Believe it or not, no, I wouldn't say they were really making money. I mean, they were doing a lot of shows for sure.
Okay.
And the album was done relatively cheaply. I mean, it was done for under $150,000, which is pretty cheap in those standards in today too. So they didn't really have a lot to recoup. However, we got lucky enough to release about 6-7 singles off that album, including the remixes. Like Michael Jackson don't even get that. Mariah, like major artists, don't get that many singles out. But at the label, we didn't have too many artists that were popping, so they gave us room to keep on releasing. But we had to keep it afloat, so that helped a lot. They're actually probably making more money now, 30 years, almost 40 years later, than they were back then. I don't know what it is, but that just record, the album, just is a gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean? Either people are sampling it. You got Drake and Kendrick Lamar and all these great artists that are still sampling SWV, so that's keeping them alive. But I would say in our first tour was the Bobby Brown tour. That was very much exciting. So they started making a little bit of change then. And then, time goes on, but actually they're doing very well right now.
They're doing excellent right now, which I'm not a hater. I'm happy for everyone. The Neptunes.
Yes.
Pharrell. That came about Chad and Pharrell. Tell me a little bit about that story because I hear so many things about when Teddy's from New York, Teddy went to Virginia. Also, I know Pharrell is actually from Virginia. When Pharrell came in, my co-host is coming in as well. When Pharrell was a producer, what was his big start? Because I heard "Use Your Heart" from SWV gave him his big startup. Is that correct?
It was his big startup as a producer on his own. Prior to that, he was a frustrated producer trying to get on, hanging around Teddy's studio, and Teddy wasn't really giving him a shot. So he was sort of like it was a ghost writer producer on Rum Shaker on Rex and Effect. So he contributed to that project. But as far as him getting the love from Teddy and stuff like that, I mean, he was there, but he wasn't really given the shot that he wanted to.
Okay.
Prior to that, now before I went to Electric Records, I was working with an artist named Tammy Lucas, who was a writer, and we became close friends. And I was managing her for a while.
Yeah.
And she was an underground artist before, but she was also being placed on certain records like Heavy D records. She did a couple of records, and she did a lot of records.
Was she the writer for a lot of people back in that time?
Yes. Well, Blackstreet was big, Roll Joy, a few things, and Heavy D. So she was well known, but she had a relationship with Teddy Riley in New York. So when Teddy moved from New York to Virginia, Tammy came behind and went and came from New York and moved to Virginia thinking that Teddy was going to put her on and work on her album. But Teddy was so large, working on Bobby Brown and major artists. He was just hot on fire. And basically, Tammy was on the shelf, just there. And then I had SWV going on, and I love Tammy's work so much. It was incredible. But she told me, hey, you should come to Virginia and meet this guy, Pharrell. And I trust her ear. So I went down to Virginia. I brought SWV down to Virginia, and we did I'm So Into You, one of the records, a remix. And then that's where we did the Michael Jackson record too, right? Almost the same day. And then I met Pharrell, and I heard their sound. Now, the Pharrell and Tammy Lucas sound was incredible. And she taught Pharrell how to write. But that was a big deal. But Pharrell was just a producer and writer. No way in hell was he even thinking about singing. And when he did sing, he was a little off, you know what I mean? And he used to get upset when I used to shop his records to other people. He used to be very upset because he didn't have any faith in his singing. Oh my God, look at him now. I mean, it's incredible. His sound is so distinctive, and that's what's really crazy. I never knew that he could really sing like that. And so to hear him do that, if you would have told me that Pharrell was going to be on stage with Stevie Wonder singing on the Grammys, I'm like, you must be on drugs. And that's exactly what happened. And the rest is history. But the phenomenon of Pharrell was ingenious. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really do a full second album. But before I left, we managed to get that Use Your Heart record. And Use Your Heart, he didn't want to use the Neptunes name because the Neptunes was actually a group. It was Chad, Pharrell, I forgot my other man's name, and this other guy named Mike, who was a singer. So they were actually a group, an R&B group, and he didn't want to interfere with the group name and make it a production name. And I told him, man, you got to change that. So when he actually produced Use Your Heart, he didn't produce it as the Neptunes, Chad. He produced it as Chad and Pharrell, but not the Neptunes. Yeah, and I was like, yo, you got to use that name. And he had all the sounds and the gear, and he was a genius, but it came later on. So it finally happened, but not on that particular record, the name itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, say hello. That's my co-host, the Picture Raleigh boy.
Hey, what's up, Kenny?
Man? All right.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, my brother? All right.
Everything's good, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Absolutely.
Good.
We're diving in, talking about a few things that people joining in late with us. There's a lot of misconception about some artists. You just talked about Tammy Lucas. I'm gonna throw some names out that people may not be familiar with that I know about, that you know about, that we can really tell backstories. Tammy Lucas, I think she was a dope because, like I said, I grew up in Connecticut, and I grew up reading the back of the records. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Reading a lot of names, like who the songwriters are, backup singers. And with that being said, Tammy Lucas, Natasha
Ramos.
Thank you. Natasha Ramos. She sung Jenny on the Blocks. She was more of the background singer.
Yes.
I think the only person that really made it out the shuffle, I'm gonna have to call out people that don't know. Neo, who was a background singer.
Exactly.
Being a songwriter, it's really difficult to transcend like that because people know the voice, but you never really know the record. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, a lot of times it's still the platform. Marcus Houston, That Girl.
Yes.
Girl. That's all Neo in the background.
That's all Neo, that record, the Mario record,
Let
Me Love You.
Let Me Love You.
And you know, as I mentioned to you before, Neo was my project, and nobody at Columbia believed in this guy, man. I'm like, and my boss at the time said, man, are you sure you want to put your career on the line? I was totally like, we were in an A&R meeting, and I played him, and Nas came on and did me a favor and rapped on some of his records, but for some reason, you know, people didn't believe in him, and he had to actually do a showcase while he was signed. He did a showcase at the label, and it bombed. He thought he was Bruce Lee with the nunchucks and everything. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? And anyway, the label never got over that. And I'm like, listen, don't worry about the nunchucks. This guy is dope, and he can help a lot of our artists. But he was an incredible writer, consistent. He practically didn't even write anything down. But his name was Schaefer Smith. That's his real name. So we signed him as Schaefer Smith. And then when he transitioned into Def Jam, then they gave him this guy named Big Tank is his name. Not Tank, but Big Tank, named him Neo, and that was it. But the guy was super incredible. But yes, that was super. He was major. But there was a lot of writers that started off as writers and then became artists. Lady Gaga, Missy Elliott, my God. Missy Elliott was a big writer. Babyface wrote for a lot of people before he made his own record. You know what I mean?
Little Mo.
Neil was there. So there's a lot of artists that you probably wouldn't know that they wrote a lot of records and then became artists. You know what I mean? And Brian Morgan, I tried to encourage him. You know, he wrote Always on My Mind for SWV, an incredible, still to this dope, incredible writer producer. He was actually an artist before he wrote on SWV, but you know, he just, I guess, didn't make that transition. He got too fat on making records, you know, for us, and decided to not to do that. But there's a lot of writers that I encourage, like, hey, become a writer first, make an establishment, and then pursue your you know, your goal of being an artist. It works for some people, not everybody.
We're gonna play a game, right? We're gonna tell you about Claudette Ortiz from City High. She's really your cousin? She's really your cousin?
No, she's not my cousin. She happens to be Spanish.
Okay.
She's not, but her boyfriend.
Okay. So y'all not related.
We're not related. We're not related. We probably should have been to a certain degree because her boyfriend, the father of her son Ryan Toby, who's also a great writer. I got him a job for the Sister Act 2. And he got that gig at Sister Act 2 performing with Lauryn Hill. And then they got together and did a group together, and they were pretty good. City High, yes. But no, everybody thinks we're related, but no, we're not. But we're both Latin, and she's from Jersey. But that's it.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. But we want to get to know you a little bit more. Official Wild Boy is going to tell you about our game. It's legendary here.
All right, hold on, Marty. Tell me, Kenny, I want to know about how you handpicked Wu-Tang for the remix with SWV, and I also want to know about Above the Rim soundtrack. Now that was hot.
Okay.
Above the Rim.
Well, it's a little story. I'm gonna try to see if I can give you the abbreviated version. Okay. That was a little luck. What happened was there was another famous, very well-known A&R guy who manages Jennifer Lopez right now. His name is Benny Medina. Very big. I looked up to him. He worked for Warner Brothers. He signed Prince. He signed Al B. Shore, and many artists that you probably know about. And he was working for Warner Brothers. He called me up and said, "Hey, I have this project Above the Rim, and I want SWV to be a part of the project." And out of respect to him, I said yes. But again, we were already hot with our album, and I didn't want anything to interfere with our sales. And so if we drifted and did another album, I figured it would take away from my sales. Either way, a week later, McKnight calls me and says, "Hey, I got this project called Above the Rim, and I want SWV to work on the record. I want Devontae to produce the record." I said, "Wait a minute. Benny Medina just called me last week. He said, no, I'm the head of the project now. And sure enough, Suge Knight was the one. But he really wanted Devontae from Jodeci to produce a record, who I actually went to first to produce SWV, but he just left me hanging and didn't do it. So I basically turned him down. I said, listen, yeah, I'll do it. It's Tupac, but I really don't want Devontae. Not that I didn't want Devontae. I just figured I have a formula for SWV, and I want to make it happen. So whatever record I give you, I'll give you this. So I'm gonna give you a remix. Now we just did Human Nature. I said, hey, do you like Human Nature remix? He says, yeah. But he says, no, I want. So I said, if you like that, you're gonna love what I give you. And I had no idea what I was gonna do. So about a few days later, I'm sitting in my office. I'm on the phone, and my door, and Sugar's from LA. My door opens unannounced, and my door opens slowly, and it's Suge. I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing? So, you heard stories about Suge. So I was a little nervous, and he said, what were you saying on the phone? And I said, listen, I'm just saying, I want to do it my way. And it just so happened that Hammer, who I signed over at Capitol Records, his brother was hanging with Suge. So anyway, going back and forth, and Hammer's brother Lewis said, son, Kenny's been doing a good job with SWVs, or we got number, but give him a chance. And he told me I had a week to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, wow, what I was going to do. So it just so happened that a producer that I was working in, All-Star, who's amazing. He actually put the beat together for me for the Human Nature record, an incredible beat. And then he came up with the beat for the Anything record. But before that, it was RZA from Wu-Tang who I hired to give me the beat for that record. And the beat was good, but it was very, very much too Wu-Tang-ish. Right. So Method Man, Old Dirty Bastard, and a couple of other crew, they came and they actually rapped to that RZA beat. But the beat was it was good, but it was too dark, for lack of better words. So it's an amazing record because, neither SWV nor Wu-Tang rapped and sung to what you end up hearing on the radio. They ended up doing it to the All-Star beat, and that worked. And then, long story short, I handed that version without Wu-Tang to Suge, and he didn't like it. And I'm like, oh, so what am I going to do? This guy's going to show up at my room again, and I'm in my office. So I was a little nervous. And I said, wait, just let me edit it. When it comes to soundtracks, you can't really mess around with the timeline because there's a movie attached to it, and they can't really, move the movie around the time date. So I was really in a tight schedule. So either way, I sent it to him. We argued a little bit about it, and somehow or another, they got to Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre heard it and said, man, this shit is dope. Loved it, and it ended up being the first single. So I would say that a couple people saved my life there. It was All-Star who did the beat, Dr. Dre who loved the record, you know what I mean, and Hammer's brother who gave me a couple of extra days to do that. But the record that went to Above the Rim did not have Wu-Tang. It was just a record by itself. I finished the Wu-Tang version a little later. So Method Man, they came down there, man. And also Joe Thomas was a very big part of that record too. He did the ad-libs. He sung on the record, and if you hear it closely, you'll hear his voice on there. Joe was a major because he.
I want to know Joe. That Joe. I want to know.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Joe Thomas was a very big part. Thank you to Teese Williams. Let me give a shout out because she's the one that helped me put it together. Teese Williams was amazing, who managed Joe at the time. So that combination got me the record with Wu-Tang. But they went in there and they gave me about a half hour. An hour worth of rapping. They all rapped on us, and I had to condense that hour and cut it into like 16 bars. I don't know how I made it make sense.
I don't know how you did it, Kenny.
But I did, and it makes sense. But they really didn't say, guess who stepped in the room? SWV. I edited that to make it sound like that. They were saying, guess who stepped in the room? They were mentioning another Wu-Tang member, but I edited it together and made it feel like they were saying.
That was dope. That was dope.
So no, that was,
That's crazy work.
I was lucky. Like I said, it all came together, man. I mean, the beat. And again, the beat, the original record was a ballad. And somehow we made a slow ballad into the hottest hip-hop record of that time that included the Wu-Tang. And that very rarely happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, that very rarely happens. That you take
That's a
ballad
rare
and you
track.
get
That's a rare track today. That's a rare track today.
Yeah. No, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's good work.
They can't go nowhere without performing it.
Above the rim, yeah, and everybody was happy, man. And then when I saw Suge at a vibe party after that.
What happened, bro?
I just said thank you. Yo, man, thank you for not hanging me on
right.
My office had actually a balcony. I was on the 45th floor of the building, and I was really scared. I was more scared than I admit. You know, that was very cool. When he says, "Yo, I want Devontae to do it," and I said, "No, don't do it." Like, you know, that was tough.
Yeah, that was
a
tough
one.
Shout out to Suge, man.
Shout out to Suge. Shout out to Dre. Shout out to Method Man. Look at Method Man now. He's like he went from a rapper to a top actor right now.
Yeah, he transition to the movie screen,
man. Incredible. And an old dirty bastard. My God, I don't know where he pulled that shit out from, but you know,
he was different.
It was amazing.
Very different.
Yes.
That's good stuff, man. Good work, Kenny.
Oh, thank you, man. You know,
yes, man.
But you know, the girls were incredible. I mean, you know, SWV. I mean, I'm a little biased, I guess, but you know, the girls, Coco, Lily, and Taj, man, they just
shout out to Taj, Lily,
and they didn't believe it. They didn't believe that was going to happen. They didn't really believe that. You know, they were gonna. I'm saying, listen, y'all gonna do it. Trust me. You know, it's gonna happen, and I'm so proud of them today. Like even today, like if I want to just feel good. You know, I just play that album, man.
Yeah, man. Same here, man. It's one of my favorite joints, man.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, man. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. We got very lucky.
I want to see how lucky he is when we ask him, you put your reputation on the line for Neo. When Neo was passed, when the industry passed on Neo, you took a chance on him. Has there been any other artists that you personally passed on and then they went off to superstardom that you want to share that people may not know about?
That I passed on? I can't say. I'm trying to remember. I got to think about that one. But I will tell you there was another artist that I couldn't get that the label passed on, and that's Brian McKnight. And I was really hurt by that. I was crushed. The Brian McKnight that you guys know is like a Hallmark card, you know, dope, you know, easygoing. And I actually tried to sign Take 6, but the label at Capitol, they wasn't trying to hear about no a cappella group, you know, doing well, and they kicked butt. But out of that, Claude McKnight, one of the members of Take 6, turned me on to Brian McKnight because they were strictly a religious Seventh-day Adventist gospel group.
Okay.
Brian wasn't like that, but Brian was like, he was a cross between Joe and Aaron Hall, but he was he was like the Kyrie Irving of it all. Music, but you guys will never hear that. You guys will never understand that. I know it because I know his skills. He was doing riffs that were unpredictable, but his career lasted long, and I'm proud of him. But I wish people would have gotten that rugged, hardcore Brian McKnight, which is probably hard for people to imagine. So I'm very upset that I didn't get him. And there's a few of them that I didn't get, but I'm trying to figure out who did I pass on. I have to circle back.
Someone said you passed on CeCe Peniston.
That's interesting. Well, my assistant, that's probably right. My assistant, Teese Williams at the time was amazing. Had CeCe Peniston, and she may be right about that one. I might have like held back on that a little bit, but she ended up being incredible too. Although I wish I did have Jodeci, I couldn't get that. I was too late on that one, but I did. I have to admit I forgot about her. Yes.
Oh, okay. Raleigh boy.
But I had a lot going on at the same time. You know, I had a lot going on at RCA. So you think about this. Yeah, CeCe Peniston, one of them, but Taj turned me on to Girls Town. Okay, so I had a group called Girls Town. No, I had SWV, and Girls Town was Destiny's Child. It was just 5 or 6 of them at the time. And I didn't think the label was going to allow me to sign another girl group, after SWV. So, but she was like, Kenny, yo, like Beyonce, the girls, and I had a tape. and Beyonce was incredible, but her riffs were like out of control. So like every word had like 45 syllables from the very beginning. Like every word was a riff from the very beginning. So you could tell that she was dope, but SWV had a major influence on Destiny's Child. They had pajama parties like crazy when they went to Houston, and they were very close. So I would say indirectly, I felt like I had an indirect connection to them because of the success of SWV. You know? Yes.
Okay. What's one thing about the 90s, 80s, 90s, or the early 2000s you wish that we can incorporate today?
Well, the 90s and the late 80s too were interesting because, you know, before the late 80s and the 90s, videos on artists didn't exist. So that was around the time that we got a chance to really see the artists. You know, before, but when I was a kid, you know, we didn't really see videos on Earth, Wind and Fire and the Isley Brothers and stuff like that. So the late 80s and the 90s gave us that. So you really heard the artists before you saw them. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of authenticity about that. You know what I mean? So people to this day, I'm talking about young kids to this day, still feel like the 90s was the best era of music, and I happen to agree with that. And I just felt that it was real. Yes, we got auto-tune, and I don't mind that. That's part. We have to embrace technology to the extent that we did, but the songs, the storytelling, even not just in R&B, but in rap, I just felt that they were just more authentic, you know, to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So, but I do appreciate some of the artists that are right now that are very, very good R&B artists right now that I think that bounced off of what we did in the 90s. But I'm very proud of that, you know. There's very, 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 very incredible artists out there right now. Of course, you know, I'm biased, but Jazmine Sullivan, you may talk about that later on. I mean, I found out I was the first person to ever put her in the studio, and she had an old soul about her at 10 years old. I mean, she was killing Kim Burrell. You call it. That girl was incredible, you know, at 10 years old, but she wasn't marketable, you know, for most people. And I couldn't convince people to say, hey, listen, don't worry about that. Look at this girl's chops. Right. So, and she bought it. She is part of what was really happening in like, you know, in the early 2000s. And I don't even know if she's really peaked yet, but I don't think she really. I don't think Clive Davis ever really pressed the button on her like the way he pressed the button on Whitney and Alicia Keys. But I feel that she's one of the true R&B artists that survive for today. So I'm hoping that more artists like that continue to carry over what we did in the 90s.
Right. And that street team, Kenny. You remember the street teams, man? Isn't it rare now to see a real street team outside when the music about to drop?
Absolutely. So to answer your question again, too, artist development. That's the key thing that we're not seeing right now.
Yeah, we don't see that, man.
We don't see that. They slap them up there. You know what I mean? There would be no Usher if it wasn't for artist development. You know what the labels did, the independent labels have done. They did that work. Uptown, LaFace. Yeah. You know, and in some cases it still works out today with some of the rap labels out there, but you know, you just don't get that. You know, if you don't blow up on TikTok. You know, like if you would have told me TikTok was going to be the answer, you know, I didn't see that coming. You know, not like that. Right. So artist development is the key thing to answer your direct question as to what you know, I wish they would bring back into now in the future. It's scary, but they are making some waves. I think Universal might have even signed. We signed like Jive Records, and they're supposed to be the label that's supposed to bring back the authenticity of R&B music. We'll see how they do. So we'll see. All it takes is one label, one artist to start off like that to make it happen. Leon Thomas, there's a few artists out there that keeping it real. Kalani keeping it real. There's a few artists, there's a few artists that are out there that have been through in their own way artist development. They started off with EPs. Like I want to say Gabby, her has been doing her record, and thank God for Jeff Robinson, who's an incredible manager. In their own way, the management have done it. The label hasn't done it, but the management has done that as far as artist development. You know, so we hopefully that will keep going.
Yeah, we're not going away yet. But I already know, Kenny. I want you to come back already because my boy, he got too many stories to tell, and we can't get it all. You got
there's a lot of one-offs, man. There's a lot of one-offs. You know, one of my favorite
give me a couple.
One of my favorite records was I Got 5 on It by the Loonies, and my man Tone Capone from LA. He had from the Loonies. The Loonies, yes. From the Bay Area. He also worked on me with the SWV album. He worked on that project too. But I'm very, very proud of that song. Still to this day, you can't go to a sporting event and you'll hear some version. Maybe you may not hear the whole rap, but you'll hear that beat. You know, I'm very, very proud of that project, even though it was a one-off for the Losies. Yes. So I got to give my shout out to my man Tone Capone.
Tone Capone, shout out to you, man.
Yes, man. Incredible. That was. I'm very, very proud of that record to this day.
Ooh, I like that. Before we play a game, I don't want to, like I said, we love SWV. I just want to. I'm going to touch on a little bit about groups. Besides SWV, besides those three girls there, it's very, very, very rare in the industry without the trials and tribulations that people have the original members of groups. Raleigh Boy and I are the original members of this platform here. People go through trials and tribulations. When you see groups like In Vogue with just 3 of the 4 members, when you see it worked with New Edition with Johnny came on.
Incredible.
Got the name. TLC, people don't know Chili's not an original member. Spinderella's not an original member of Salt and Pepper for the DJ. Rum DMC is. With J Master J, God bless his soul. How is it important that you feel when some groups try to get together when 2 or the 3 members are there? Changing Faces got a new member. Rough Ends don't have only 2 people in the group. Rough Ends has a new member. Changing Faces has a new member. How do you feel like that when groups still try to put it together when the other members is alive and well?
You know, each situation is different for different reasons. I mean, it's kind of straight. If you fall in love with a particular voice and vibe, you want to keep that going. And sometimes, like New Edition, I thought Lowell Silas, the A&R president, he just did such an incredible job from bringing like Johnny Gill into the group. Like I almost didn't know it was going to work, but that worked incredible. And of course, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis producing that. Like he did, you thought they were incredible as it was the original, group. You thought it was great, New Edition, but Johnny just added another element to it. Actually, I want to even say, for me personally, he sounded even better, even though he was great as a solo artist. He really was incredible, but he just added another dimension that I didn't even think he had when he joined the group. And then for them to take that and take BBD and form another sound, you can't front on Poison. Like I never even thought that they would even be successful because they weren't. You can argue that it was as talented as the rest of the group, but they created their own sound that they had a couple of classic records on BBD. So just the way that was navigated, that was really more of an A&R decision to make that happen. Not that the group had anything to do with it, but that was ingenious for an A&R person to cultivate that sound and create, an atmosphere for them, in that particular case.
That's rare in a few groups. So go ahead.
Yeah, that was there. I'm trying to figure out other examples where a new member, or even Destiny's Child. I mean, that was 5 members, and I think they lost. They lost a couple of. What was the girl that went on her own? It'll come to my mind. Yes, she kind of did well on her own to a certain degree. So,
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase my question. Even when people lose members, like Boyz II Men is a 3-man group. Escape with 3 girls in the group. I'm just saying, like when groups can't hold it together. That was my question. Some people can't hold it together as the chemistry in the groups. You know what I mean? Just keep things all alive.
Yeah, sometimes people don't realize that a member in the group, and I think that happened with the Supreme Suit to a certain degree back in the days, but sometimes people don't realize the person may be very important to the group, even though they're not getting that shine. I'm sure that, you know, I mean, Destiny Child was great, but Kelly Rowland and Michelle, they had a big part of it. Even SWV, they came to me as a 4-member group, but you know, we ended up with 3. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You really don't know until you really put the project together and you really see who shines. You know what I mean? To that degree.
Understood. Robert, you want to play 3-2? Want to play 3-2-1 with him?
Yeah, we can play it.
Tell him the game, please.
All right, Kenny, the game like this. Check
Okay,
it out. Cause them Knicks still hot. I see, huh? Them Knicks still hot.
Absolutely.
Knicks still hot.
I'm still recovering from that parade, but yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. Shout out to the Knicks, man.
Absolutely.
So this how the game go, Kenny. We give you 3 scenarios.
Okay.
And the 3 scenarios, you're gonna place them 3, 2, 1 when you read them back to us.
Okay.
Viewers are about to understand your preference in any scenario we throw at you. So be ready, be prepared. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
So
all right,
Kenny,
so Marty, do you want to start and set it off for him?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Kenny, you're from a particular era. You're
Right.
from the era when full albums matter. Remember people doing a full body of work? Very rare. I'm gonna throw out 3 classic albums.
Okay.
You're gonna rank them, as Fisher Rob Boy said, from 3 as your least, number 1 as your favorite. There's no right, there's no wrong answer. This is your perspective on things, okay?
Okay.
Let's start with Sade. Remember that album, Love Deluxe, with No Ordinary Love?
Yes.
Really can't get a job more than 2. Remember that album? That full album? Let me throw another one. Tony Braxton's Secrets, that album.
Ooh. Okay.
You're following the game so far, right?
Okay. I'm trying my best. Yeah.
Okay.
Two different entire albums, but yes, okay.
Yep. Let me throw another 3rd classic album in there. Oh, no, because you're gonna be biased with that album. Mary J. Blige, Mary album. I'm not gonna say what's the 411. I'm not gonna say My Life. The Mary J. album, you know, the Mary album, that album.
Of your Mary album, you're saying that 411 or
not the 411, not My Life. We're gonna go to Mary, that album.
Wow. First, well,
what's number 3? You're at least on the list. Number 3.
At least I'm trying to think about it right now because it's different reasons. Like Sade puts me on the beach, and I don't want to think about nothing else but Sade.
Yeah.
So, damn, I would say Sade, Mary, and Tony.
Okay, Sade's number 3.
Wait. No, Sade. I'm sorry. Let me go backwards. Sade's number 1.
Go number 3, please, Kenny. Who's 3rd on your list, please?
3rd on my list I would say. I keep going back and forth. Be acting tomorrow. I would say probably Tony. I would say Tony.
The Secret album.
I would say.
I'll Break My Heart and all that. Okay.
Yeah, it's for different reasons. It's like different reasons. You know what I mean? It's not that one was better. It's just the mood that I want to be in.
Got it.
I mean, it's really a mood thing. Like I can play Sade from beginning to end and just be on the beach until the other albums I have to skip around. You know what I mean? And get and make my own sort of like, you know, sequence of the records. With Sade, they can just play.
You can just play.
Okay. And who's number 2 again, please?
Damn, every time you ask me, I'm gonna change it. Sade number 1, I would say
Mary number 2.
Mary number 2, and Tony number 3.
Okay.
But I do love Tony. Don't get me wrong. You know, I don't want to front. I do love Tony. I ain't gonna front. Personal friend, Tony. Personal friend, and I love her too. But you know, Sade, like I said, I don't have to. No matter what record you play first, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Sade, number 1. Shout out to Sade.
Okay, Riley Boy, your turn, please.
Okay, let me take Kenny back a little bit. As far as the male R&B groups, let's see what Kenny prefer on this because he was really there. So, you know, us, you know, coming after you, Kenny, we didn't get the texture and the substance that you experienced when these guys came through. And We want to know what you prefer. 3, 2,
Okay.
1. We got the SOS band.
Ooh.
Yeah. We got the Gap band.
Okay.
And we got Cameo. Let's go. Don't leave Cameo out now. Cameo was the man.
I would say give it to me again. But Gap, easy right now. Gap band number 1.
Okay.
Gap band
the SOS band.
Cameo give me those dance records, man.
Cameo gave those dance records, bro.
Yes, man.
Put the 2-step down. Sometimes you got 3 steps out of here when Cameo hit the stage.
Yeah. Well, the easy one is the Gap. I would say.
Okay, number 3. Who's
Cameo
number 3?
might have been number 3 and SOS number 2. And I can probably switch, if you ask me another different day, those two would change. But Gap band will never, ever change. That was the reason that was SWV for me. That was the essence, of SWV. Gap band, Charlie Wilson.
Yes,
like that was my hero guy, whatever it is. There's no question.
Shout out to the Gap band for sure.
Yeah.
Do you like the game?
Yes, especially that Gap band one. You hit a woo, man. And the thing is that Gap band is part of, like, let me see how I can say this in a nice way. Music, really touched different parts of stages of life, right? You go from being a kid to puberty, and girls, and your adult life and stuff like. And I will say the Gap band was college, puberty, just affected me in like in ways that very emotional, as music is to everybody. But definitely when you think about your love life and stuff like that, the Gap band was like right there, dancing in a club. Like people don't dance together no more. They don't. We call it grinding. They don't do that no more.
Right, they don't dance no more.
That don't exist. And so when I was making records, for that dance, for love making and all that kind of stuff. The Isley Brothers gave you that. Gap band gave you that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't happen like that.
Whatever you was doing, you could pick a record.
Yes, absolutely. You can pick a record for sure.
Okay.
We lost that, man. We still got it, but we lost it going forward.
Yes.
Let's see how musically inclined you are, Kenny. Let's see.
Okay.
Are you a big MJ fan? Rest in peace to Michael Jackson.
Oh man, please.
MJ, man.
Let me go to some classic albums, some records of Michael's that people really don't really pay attention to. Let's see. I'm
gonna try. This is a tough one.
Okay. Go ahead. Earth Song by Michael Jackson. Remember that?
Earth, you said?
Earth Song. You know that? You know that joint?
You could probably have to play a little bit again, but yes.
Okay, I'm gonna skip it and throw another one in there.
But that must be late. That was late in his life then.
Okay, matter of fact, let me go to this. No, you'll be biased on that. Billie Jean.
Okay.
Want to Be Starting Something.
Okay.
And bring it up a little bit later. Heaven Can't Wait.
And you want me to name them in order? You're saying
number 3 is your least 3.
The last record you mentioned.
Heaven Can't Wait.
Say,
okay.
There's a toss-up between Billie Jean and Want to Be Starting Something. I guess Want to Be Starting Something is probably number 1, Billie Jean number 2, and then Heaven Can't Wait is number 3.
Okay. Riley boy, close it out with that one.
All right, let's close it out. Let's go back to the fellas, man.
To the who?
I got 3 groups. I got 3 male groups for you.
Oh, the fellas. Okay.
I got the fellas for you. I got 3 R&B groups for you.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
All right, check it out. We're gonna go BBD.
Ooh.
BBD, okay.
New Edition.
Okay.
And then we got Another Bad Creation.
Ooh, New Edition being number 1.
Okay, number 1. Shout out to New.
BBD probably number 2, and Another Bad Creation.
Bad Creation, yeah. They didn't do much as the OGs did, but Another Bad Creation, they was hot too. I like that.
Yeah, that was hot.
It was hot. They brought the fun back into the game.
Yes, yes.
They made cats lighten up on their feet a little bit. Like, we can have fun still, fellas. We grew up together, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Let's talk about a little bit of today before we tell you good night. First off, I'm a little nosy. Been around 30 years, 30 plus years, well-respected career and all that. When you receive record execs and all that stuff, are you not being all nosy, but are you comfortable, like financially wise? How do you make all your money now?
Well, still getting publishing money, you know.
Ooh.
Definitely, and when I worked for Sony, actually that was really weird because, you know, I saved a lot of money for Sony, and I made a lot of money there, but I was unhappy there. I was making, you know, lots of money there, and I was the most. I didn't even think that was possible, you know. And when I first started doing A&R, I was making like maybe 40 G's, and I was almost the happiest. In New York, yeah. I first started in New York as an A&R person. I guess what I'm saying to you, when I made the most money in my life, I was unhappy as an executive. Neil, for example, is an example where I couldn't sign him. That we work with him. That hurt me. When I can't sign an artist and work with an artist, that I take that home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that hurts me. So, but that was the time where I made the most money in my life, and you know, and I saved that, and I made some investments, and I was able to still survive today without really having a steady job, so to speak.
Nice.
And when I made the least money in my career, I was able to just make music, and I was lucky enough to have executives that helped me, you know, do what I want to do, if that makes any sense.
It does.
I got what you're saying.
I totally understand.
But the heart is that it ain't about, you know, switching up and finding yourself unhappy. It's about following that passion and what you really like to do.
Yes.
Day to day. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that.
I totally understand. Are you looking to work with artists or anything, Kenny? Even
well,
like I'm gonna say artists on the come up. Let me ask that first. I'm sure artists, we're gonna talk about artists now, but let's say artists on the come up.
That's a very good question, to tell you the truth. And I would say, I'm trying to see how I can answer that. There's a few artists, it's really different right now because a lot of artists feel that, you know, they can do it on their own. They got TikTok and stuff like that. So they'll take input. But me, what I loved about some of the projects I did work on, like SWV, like there was no barriers. You know, I was able to do what I want. The girls listened to what I was doing, and it was like, boom, I was able to just kind of get it done with no interference. There was no co-worker or nothing like that. I mean, I took advice, but I was able to do that. Now, this is a lot of influence where I haven't really found an artist that allows me to bring my musical ear, you know, entirely to the table. Like, I mean, every decision that was made on projects like SWV and some of the other projects that you don't know that were independent. There's another artist that we haven't talked about, with Martha Wash, who came from Sylvester and was background. She sung It's Raining Manning, and she was part of CC Music Factory. Everybody Dance Now, you know, and also was a group called Black Box. You know, she's incredible to this day. She's incredible. It's Raining Men. And so projects like that, I was able to, you know, really put my own magic to. Now, the ones in the come up, the vibe is way different as to what a person like me, if I want to introduce somebody to a new sound and a new music, that it's kind of hard because they have to be patient enough for me to put the whole picture together. So
everybody go right now.
Difficult. That's been
everybody don't go too much. Everybody trying to press it too fast.
Yes, exactly. And that's been very difficult. So as we speak right now, there's a few artists on the come up right now that people haven't heard about that I want to work with, and we'll see how that comes out. But you know, technology is a different animal right now. So I would say that I would have to embrace the new technology that's going to come out there, and that's going to be part of it. I'm not trying to kill the music vibe or artists or writers or producers or anything like that, but I will tell you that I am embracing new technology right now. And at the end of the day, I have too much music in my computer that can't stay there. You know, I can't die with all this dope music and ideas in my computer. Yeah. That's not going to happen. So either a real artist or a real writer is going to put it out there, or there will be, as you can see, other ways to put it out there. But in some way or another, you know, the Quincy Jones in me has to come out, because I feel like that's my God right there as a producer. And, you know, we'll see what the future brings. But I'm looking forward to it, the new experience right now. It's going to be very interesting. And I do have a partner who's I'm working with. Her name is Gina Gomez. She's out of LA. She's from the UK, an incredible writer, incredible vibe. And we finally, after 30 years, gotten together, and we're creating some magical music and writing. And I can't wait in the new future. I would say by this time next year, you're going to be hearing about our music and our vibe. And I can't wait for that to come out. And there's some other people too. I got to give my shout out to Andre Dale, who gave us Natasha, and Jenny from the Block, who's an incredible, out of Connecticut, from your town, man. Yeah, he came from Troy Oliver's. Yeah, like, you know, an incredible. I can't wait. He's been waiting a long time. He's super. And so I got a great team, because these guys have been around for a while, but their sound hasn't come out. I put that against almost any project that's out there right now. When I hear Aaliyah,
they've always been in the background too. They never got their just due as an artist.
Exactly. Yep. But you know, but the point is that you could easily be tricked and say, you know, it's old school. But no. When I listen to Leon Thomas, I mean, my God, you know, this guy, he's not doing anything really new. He's authentic still, and he's dope. And a lot of these hip hop artists are great too. When you listen to Kendrick Lamar and even Drake, their music, they're rappers, but their music is old school. Like if you listen to the DNA of their sound, of course some of them are samples, but you know, they're taking it from our generation.
Right.
You know? Yes.
Kenny, let me tell you what I got out of this, what you just said. And I'm gonna piggyback what you said. You're looking for longevity, not for that right now, as Official Rod Boy said. You're looking at legacy. You're looking at 10 years from now, like you as an OG and a beautiful backdrop that you can sit home if you want to and let a check come in. We like that.
Well, my whole history, think about it. SWV, we're talking about. I got 5 on it. A lot of other records that I didn't mention. You know what I mean? All of them. So even house music. House music was underground. Nobody wanted radio. Nobody wanted to touch house music.
Nobody wanted to touch house music, bro.
I signed the first house artist to a major label, JM Silk, Steve Hurley. Signed the first Spanish rapper before Big Pun, before Fat Joe, before all that. First Spanish rapper ever sold 2 million, Mellow Man Ace. They were all first. First gospel, BB and CC that crossed over. You know what I mean? Nobody was touching BB and CC back in those days. So being the first and rocking them, you know, they're still lasting today. So I want to keep that. You're right. I want to, you know, if somebody told me that SWV was going to be around 40 years later, you know, I don't know if I would have predicted that, but I knew it was special. So you're right. I do want longevity, without a doubt. At least the way I love music. So whatever happens, it happens.
Kenny, as I told you when we were talking behind the scenes, we're coming up there this weekend. I'm going to call you myself. I'm not going to say what state you're in, because I'm not going to want people to flock out there. So we're going to be around your way. And Raleigh Boy and I, we want to build, because what we do, Raleigh Boy can even tell you, we like to facilitate artists, but before we bring them to you, we want to make sure everything is right.
Yes.
Before we waste time.
Nothing ever comes right, unfortunately, but if you're able to do that, great.
We want to do a lot of the footwork for you.
Yes, that'll be great. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that.
What type of music are you? I know your music genre is well diverse, so you're pretty much open. We bring you hip hop, R&B, disco. I mean, electric dance music. You with it?
I'm with it. If it's new and fresh, even different languages. I mean, even with like lately, with the help of AI, I'm able to take a dope R&B hip hop record and deliver a K-pop version of it too. Like, holy shit! Like the transition is incredible. In 3 seconds, I can give you that same record translated into K-pop or Latin music or Afro beats, and amazing that I'm able to do that all in a matter of a few minutes. So, nice. I love it all, and I appreciate all types of music without a doubt.
Oh, Robert, we got an assignment. Robert, what are we missing out on with Kenny? Because one, I do want him to come back already. So what are we missing out?
What about do a drop? What about Kenny doing a drop for us?
Okay.
Kenny, let's do a drop. Kenny, let's be like,
Okay,
yo.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Introduce yourself, and then you rocking with the Marty A. Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy, and whatever else you want to end it with.
Wow. Okay.
Down
well, yes.
When we can get warm, we can do it a few times.
All right. All right. Well, yes. My name is Kenny Ortiz, executive producer. I'm here on the Marty A. Johnson Show, giving up some jewels and some unreleased information.
Yeah.
And
like that.
I want to keep doing it. And the future is still bright, and the best is yet to come on the Marty A. Johnson Show. And I hope that I'm invited again to drop some new jewels for you guys.
Well, you got to add Official Raleigh Boy. Official Raleigh Boy is here too. So don't forget Official Raleigh Boy.
Yes.
Marty A. Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy.
So giving love and respect to the Marty.
Kenny, hold on, Kenny, okay. Hold on. So there's multiple cameras going on. So right when we're looking at here, look at us so we can make sure we get a clear shot. I know we got other, so there's other cameras going on. Like I know you got your Instagram going, but look right here directly at us. Okay.
Okay.
So right there, please. So count yourself down, like Fish Bar Boy said, and just go with it wherever you want to go.
Okay, this is Kenny Ortiz, the executive producer, here on the Marty A. Johnson and Raleigh Show, dropping jewels. Dropping jewels to you guys. Absolutely proud to be here.
You gotta get it right. He wants you to say it in the format. Marty A. Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy. That's it. You might gotta say it a little bit.
Marty A. Johnson Show
with official Raleigh Boy.
With official Raleigh's Boy.
Right. Yep. It's on the screen. Can you see that? It's too small. It's too small on my side.
I can do it like this because we can still chop it up and make it big anyhow. So hold on.
There, go right there, Kenny. You see official Raleigh Boy, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Where am I at right now? Okay. Oh, yes.
Screen, official Raleigh Boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Kenny Ortiz, executive producer on the Marty A. Johnson and the official Raleigh Boy, dropping jewels to the baddest show ever. Appreciate y'all.
All right, let's get warm. Let's get warm now.
Okay.
The Marty A. Johnson Show with official
Raleigh Johnson Show.
Come on,
Raleigh A. Johnson Show.
No, Marty
A.
Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy.
Okay.
And then introduce yourself first, and then say I'm kicking it or rocking with the Marty A. Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy, and then promote a little bit, whatever you got going or something. Just like you said, talk to the people.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best.
You got it, Kenny. You got it. Let's go.
All right, this is Kenny Ortiz, executive producer on the Marty A. Johnson Show with official Raleigh Boy show as well, and dropping new jewels for maybe I'll do that again.
That's all right, but you had it though. You got it. You got it though.
Okay.
You got halfway through it. You got it.
I'm good. Well, you see, I'll never be
doing drops and stuff.
Do what y'all do. Yes.
It's fun though. It's fun.
But okay. So Kenny Ortiz, executive producer on the Marty A. Johnson Show and the official Raleigh Boy Show, dropping jewels for you guys for here and in the future. Enjoying myself right now. Yes.
That's workable. That's workable, Marty.
Y'all want some more? Okay.
Want some more, little Marty?
One more, please.
No. One more, K. One more, K.
Just official Raleigh Boy. That's it. With him.
Official Raleigh Boy.
Yeah, no show.
No show.
Yeah, after me, no show. Just Marty A. Johnson Show with the official Raleigh Boy.
Marty A. Johnson Show with the official Raleigh.
Hold on,
that's it. Boom. That's it.
Count yourself down. 3, 2, 1. Then you go.
Marty A. Johnson Show with the official Raleigh Boy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Kenny, you have to do a drop for.
What is that?
You didn't do
more?
Oh, he thinking you were gonna cut it. He was thinking you could cut it in, but yeah, you can say it again. Kenny.
I thought you were cutting it in. I thought you were editing it in.
Right. That's what I said. Kenny, he know how to work.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it again.
One more
Yeah,
time.
you can do it one time for us.
Which line? Here on the Kenny Ortiz.
Start from the beginning.
Yep.
Kenny
Start from the
Ortiz.
beginning. Kenny Ortiz. Yep.
Kenny
Marty A.
Ortiz,
Johnson
executive
show.
producer on the Marty A. Johnson show and official Raleigh Boy show, coming at you with the jewels. Thank you very much. Can't wait to see you guys again.
Kenny, you did great. So, Kenny, how are we on this platform? Did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed myself, even the last part, even though I didn't get it right. I hope we
got it.
You gonna satisfied your thing, but no,
you did. You did good,
I'm very, very happy to be here, and I appreciate you guys inviting me. I'm very honored. You guys acknowledge some of my accomplishments. No, I really appreciate it. I can't wait to come back, because next time I come back, there's gonna be other stories, other new artists, other accomplishments.
We love it,
and I can't wait.
And hopefully, we might have a couple artists we want you to listen to as well.
Absolutely, let's do it. Let's do it.
Hold on. Let's do this one clip. And when I say who you are, you say your name and record producer and all that.
Okay, you want You want me
I'm
to
gonna
say my
say
name?
I'm gonna lead it off, and we're gonna say your name and tell what you do. I'm gonna say my name. Official Rob Boy gonna say his name. Official Rob Boy gonna say who he's joined with. Then you say who you are. With Kenny Ortiz.
I'm gonna pass it to you. After Marty passes it to me, I'm gonna pass it to you.
Okay.
3. What's up, world? Marty A. Johnson here.
What's up, y'all? It's official Raleigh Boy, and look who we rocking with.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Ortiz, executive producer.
Kenny worked with some of the who's in the business. Wu-Tang Clan, Jazmine Sullivan, Neo, The Neptunes, SWV, and next to him be you. If you really want to lock in with us and Kenny Raleigh Boy, what they need to do.
Tap in with us, Marty A. Johnson 4 at gmail.com. Hit us with a like message, and our team will reach back out to you.
For real. Kenny, we're going to bring you the next big thing from this platform, so hopefully we can make it work. So you ready to listen to some music?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Can't wait. Always ears. My ears are open for you guys all the time, 24/7. Doesn't matter what time, what day, Christmas, New Year's, birthdays, whatever. Just hit me.
Do your homework on Kenny Ortiz. All right? Y'all do your homework.
And we're going to see you on Tuesday. Kenny, you were excellent. So I'm going to call you tomorrow when I'm in that area.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna call you myself tomorrow. Just don't give out my phone number. And we're gonna make it work, because we're gonna talk behind the scenes. I don't want people knowing where I'm gonna be at.
My man, thank you, man.
Thank you, Kenny.
Appreciate you, Kenny. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Absolutely, man. God bless you guys.
God bless you too, bro. Peace.
My boy Kenny was excellent. So, Raleigh Boy, let's let the people know New York City is on the horizon. It'd be really dope if we link up with some of our peoples, huh? Friends of the show, Allure, G-Dab, go over the bridge to Jersey, Kenny Ortiz, I got to Naughty by Nature, Chanel Red, so many other people. So if you're in the tri-state, hit me up at Marty A. Johnson on all social media platforms. And if you want to be on the show, DM Official Raleigh Boy. What's your social media?
Official_ Raleigh Boy, BOY.
New York on the way in the tri-state. So Tuesday night is where it's at with me and Official Raleigh Boy. Tap all the way in. Remember, this is the only platform with celebrity guests and record producers. You see it only right here. Thank y'all for watching, and good night.